If you're an HR administrator, you already know that onboarding isn't just about a welcome packet and a new laptop. It's about building an employee's entire digital identity from the ground up. Today, we're going to walk through the hiring process in SAP S for H&A, step by step, so you can turn what feels like a complex task into a smooth, confident workflow. Let's get right into it. All right, let's set the scene. Here's your mission. You've got a new accounting clerk starting on October 1st. As the HR admin, it's your job to create their complete master data record in the system, and it has to be perfect from day one. But before we start clicking away in the system, we need to get familiar with our most important tool for the job, something called a personnel action. Trust me, really understanding this one concept is the key to making the whole process smooth and error-free. So what in the world is a personnel action? Well, think of it like a guided tour. When a big HR event happens, like a new hire, SAP doesn't just give you a blank canvas. Instead, it walks you through a series of specific information screens, which it calls Infotypes, in a very logical order, making sure you don't miss a single crucial detail. And this visual here, it lays it all out perfectly. You've got the one big event, our new hire, that kicks off the action. That action then neatly bundles together all the necessary info types, their core data, their organizational data, their payroll info, all into one logical flow. It's a really elegant way to organize a complex process. Okay, theory's over. Let's get our hands dirty. We're about to walk through the entire hiring journey, step by step, from start to finish. Think of this timeline as our GPS for this whole journey. We're going to start by kicking off the action, then we'll capture their personal data, define their role in the company, set their pay, and finally create that complete record. Let's jump into step one. Our journey begins, as so many do in SAP, with a transaction code. This is our entry point into the system. So you're going to pop in transaction PA40. Now, you'll leave the personnel number field blank. That's important because the system is going to generate a new one for us. The two fields you do need to fill out are the from date, which is our new hire's start date, and of course the action type, where we'll select hiring. Once that's set, we hit execute. The second you hit execute, SAP whisks you away to your first official stop, InfoType 0000. This screen is the official starting point, the foundation for this employee's entire history at the company. Okay, this screen, InfoType 0000 Actions, is the cornerstone. It's the official record that documents the hiring event itself. Here you'll define why you're hiring. Maybe it's a new position, and you'll link them to their specific spot in the org chart. And this is absolutely crucial. You have to save this record before you can do anything else. It's the key that unlocks all the subsequent steps. Okay, so the system knows what's happening, a hire. Now it needs to know who it's happening to. And that brings us to their personal data, which is how we establish their identity in the system. This next step, InfoType 0002, seems pretty basic, but don't underestimate its importance. This is where we capture their name, their date of birth, their nationality, all the core personal details. This info feeds directly into legal reports, official records, and basically any formal communication the company will ever have with them. All right, we know who we're hiring. Now for the million-dollar question. Where do they actually fit in the grand scheme of things? And listen up, because this next part, it is arguably the most critical step in the entire hiring process. Just look at this diagram. It shows you exactly why this is the heart of the operation. The organizational assignment, InfoType 001, is the central nervous system. It connects the person to their position, and that position controls everything. I mean, their system access, who they report to, how their payroll gets processed. If you get this wrong, you could have someone in the wrong pay group or seeing reports they should never see. It's a bureaucratic nightmare waiting to happen. Phew! Okay, the heaviest lifting is done. We've got their identity and their place in the company totally locked down. Now the system will guide us through the rest of the essential admin and financial details. So now the system's going to walk us through a few quick-fire rounds for essential info. We'll be prompted for their address, their planned work schedule, and of course, their bank details so they can get paid. Each one is another critical piece of the puzzle. And here we are, the final stretch. The last two key inputs are basic pay, where we establish their salary, and absence quotas, which sets up their vacation time and other leave. Once we save these, the core employee record is officially born. And just like that, with one final save click, our main mission is accomplished. The record is now live in the system. So what did all that clicking actually accomplish? Well, take a look. Our new employee now officially exists in SAP. They're correctly assigned to their position, they're ready for the next payroll run, and their data is clean and accurate. All because we followed that structured personnel action. Mission complete. Now, in a perfect world, we'd never make a typo. But, life happens. So let's quickly look at a few advanced tools in your HR toolkit for when you need to make corrections. So if you do need to fix something, SAP gives you a couple of escape hatches. You can actually restart the action to go back through the sequence and change the record. And in a worst-case scenario, you can even delete the personnel number entirely. But, and I cannot stress this enough, that's only possible before payroll has been run for that person. After that, it's a whole different ballgame. Okay, we've been deep in the weeds, clicking through screens and talking about Infotypes. Let's pull back for a second and look at the real strategic impact of getting this one action right. You see, what we just did, it wasn't just data entry. Not at all. Executing a hiring action correctly is the precise moment a candidate officially transforms into a valued company asset. The data integrity that we create right here on day one becomes the foundation for everything else. Accurate pay, reliable reports, and their entire career journey with the company. So that leaves us with one final big question to chew on. We've seen how a single, structured action creates a valuable organizational asset. So how does the precision, the care we take at this very first step end up shaping that employee's entire future with the company? Something to think about, right? The impact is way bigger than just a few data fields.